So this is the final video. We just got back from Seigi a few days ago. I had a moment to sit down and go through the trading that I did. And it took a lot of work and effort and time and a little bit of pain. I was carrying around that bag that had all the games in for a little while, working on the trades, and it was just a few games here and a few games there. But onto the trades. Before the convention started, I thought I had something that I knew I was going to try and get. It was the Super Scope Sega Master System box that came with the 3D glasses, the light phaser, and missile defense 3D. The shop that had it did not actually have that. I think they misunderstood which one I was looking for. That's fine. But they did have a R.O.B, the robot complete in box. Well, I say complete in box. It was the NES complete set, the deluxe set, and after looking at it, it was missing the NES, and it was missing Duck Hunt. And they were asking way too much for it for that. And thankfully, the guy was not interested in most of what I had. There's only a handful of stuff, and I think he valued it at like $450, and he was asking for $900, but he was going to come down off the price because of stuff that was missing. But thankfully, we could come out to a deal. But he knew someone who had a Japanese R.O.B the robot, and so he took us over there, which is really cool. Really appreciate the guy doing that. And we worked out a deal with him to get a Japanese R.O.B the robot. This is complete except for the little claw hand things. But there are some 3D printed sets in here. They're black, but not the Famicom, I don't know, maroon, whatever color that is, reddish. But Prin was super happy to get this. She's wanted a R.O.B. She didn't really care, which one she got. She just wanted a R.O.B and had for several years. I didn't know it at the time when I could have gotten one for trade several years ago at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. But we got R.O.B. I think I'm gonna try and get a Famicom to NES adapter so we can use him on just a regular Nintendo. But not only did we get this, we also got a Famicom. The guy said it had been recapped, so all we need to do is find a AC adapter for it, and we can try it out. And I actually have a Famicom disk system, so now I can try that out. But it works. Probably could use some cleaning up, but yeah, I mean, it's not in the best of shape. It definitely has yellowing, but we've got that. And for those two things, we traded off the Pokemon Stadium complete in box, except for the jumper pack, which the guy had a jumper pack sitting right there. And I was like, oh, you can take that, put it in the box, and you'll have it complete. And I showed him it had all of the paperwork. It even had some of the stickers left over. I think only 2 or 3 of the stickers had been used. So he was happy to see that. But also in that same box, we had Pokemon Snap, which he wanted, so it had the case and the manual. And then Pokemon Gold, completely loose for the Game Boy. Game Boy Color, I forget which one it's for. But we got those 2 items for those 3 games, which Prin was super happy for, and she was happy, and is still happy. I was happy all weekend and happy with that. And she kept saying, well, that was the best trade. That was the best trade. I got my R.O.B. So she was very happy about it, and I'm glad that she's got it. We're going to have to figure out a place to display it. And somewhere along the line, I bought some of the pieces that go along with it. So we will have to double check and see what we've got, but we might have everything we need except for the AC adapter for the Famicom. But I might kind of be looking for a boxed Famicom now so that I have all of it boxed. So the next thing is walking around, found somebody else, and I don't remember. It was kind of funny because the guy there he's like, well, I can't really, he forgot his readers, so he couldn't look at it much. I guess the boss man came back and he was looking at it, and I think he thought that I was looking for those games, not that I was trying to trade those games from my list. I'll have to get a picture of the list and throw it up. One of the things that he was really looking at was the Sega CD Complete in Box Lethal Enforcers. I was happy to let that one go. It's a big object. I wouldn't mind getting the Genesis one, but I don't really need the Sega CD one because I don't have a Sega CD. I don't collect for the Sega CD, but I got it in a trade last year when I was vending. One of those things you look back and like, why did I do that? But so he got Lethal Enforcers, then he got Cell Damage, Finding Nemo, Perfect Dark for the N64, which was complete in box, and it still had the wrapper on it, but it had been opened, Dead to Rights, and Beautiful Joe 2. So for all of those, Prin was super happy to get the Princess Peach Showtime. Yeah, Showtime. So she was happy with that. She's already played through several levels. And then she saw Jurassic Park Collection. She thought that this would be something the Munchkin and I could play together, so we got that. We're big fans of the Mario Party games, so we got Mario Party Jamboree. We didn't have that, so now we do. And then the one that I was looking forward to is Might and Magic Gates to Another World. It's complete. The manual's not in the best condition, but I think I saw one other copy of it at Seigi, and it was in worse condition. The case is in pretty good shape. It's missing that. The hang tab's missing. I don't care about the hang tabs. I cut off all of the hang tabs when I was a kid, so it doesn't bother me if they're missing them. I'm not hanging it up on anything. And if I wanted to, I could just get a different case. But yeah, so several of the GameCube games, the Sega CD Lethal Enforcers for those 4 games. So good to get rid of those and get something that I really wanted. And initially it was just a couple of the games, and then he was asking, oh, well, is there anything else you guys are interested in? We showed him, and he just kept looking at stuff and trying to pick stuff out, so that was cool. The next trade I got, I was really excited about because I was able to get Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and I think the Hyrule Warrior games are a ton of fun. Probably my favorite Zelda games. I thought I had this and realized I didn't a couple weeks before going to Seigi, and so this was the one game I was really looking for. And I think this was the only copy I saw. I saw several from the first Hyrule Warriors, but not Age of Calamity. So super excited to get that. And then another one that I've been waiting to find for a good price, Super Mario Odyssey. I'm pretty sure Switch fans are like, how did you not have Super Mario Odyssey and you had a Switch? I just didn't. I was waiting for it to get to a more affordable price. So for both these games, I traded Mario Kart Double Dash, which I didn't care for Double Dash. I still think that Mario Kart 64 is the best kart racer for Mario Kart, and I'll stick to that. There was one other game the guy wanted, and that was X-Men for the Game Gear, and that was only $5. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, Super Mario Odyssey for Mario Kart Double Dash, and X-Men for the Game Gear I thought was a great deal. I think he had, like, combined, I think these were just under $70, and that was a pretty fair price for the 2 games I traded. I'm really looking forward to playing through Age of Calamity. It'll probably be the Switch game that I play through this year that I put on the list. So after all those trades, I had walked around for probably 2 or 3 hours at that point for trades, and a lot of the bigger titles that people wanted were already gone. Twice I was walking around and showing the list to people, and like not the main vendor wanted to look at the list and see if there's anything they needed. One guy was he was doing a challenge for picking up on Saturday or Friday, picking up GameCube games showing that it's still affordable to collect for these retro systems. And the game he picked up was Hitman 2, and that was only $12. But then the second game, walked into a booth. I was like, hey, I'm looking at trading some of the stuff. Gave the guy a list. I was like, oh, well, it's not my booth. He's over there, and he was helping somebody else. And he's like, do you have these on you? I was like, yeah. So I go around to start opening it up, and he's like, you don't happen to have any Hot Wheels game? I was like, well, I do. I have Hot Wheels Velocity X for the GameCube, and he's like, sweet, and he ended up buying that. It was really cool to be able to work out some deals with other people, and those were just straight cash. So $12 for one, $20 for Hot Wheels. Not something I had expected to do, but you know, that's cool. So after spending several hours carrying that stuff around, I went to the local retro shop and saw that they had something back there. I was like, oh, I don't remember seeing that in store. So I talked with them, worked out a trade, picked up the strategy guide for Super Mario Odyssey. It's really a cool guide, and I mean, this thing is thick. It is chunky. It's surprising how big it is, and it's very detailed. So I traded for this. Oh, and something that I'd wanted is, well, I particularly wanted the joystick, but since I could get the whole thing in box, why not? So Ace Combat 6, the control stick, and it has everything. Boom, there's the flight stick, little picture of the flight stick, but happy to get that added to the collection. I was able to get rid of all those GameCube games, several Game Boy games, Game Gear games, and I definitely got some stuff that I'd much rather have and appreciate. You know, all those movie games. Not a lot of people wanted those, and you know, that's not really surprising. You got to have a certain person coming to look for those, or someone who remembers having a good time with them as a kid, and they want their kids to play with them or to play those games. But at the end of Friday, I had actually taken a big box of the remainder of games that I had back to the hotel on Friday night. About halfway there, I was like, you know what, I should have just traded them into the local shop. They've always done well by me, done right by me. I think I've got some good deals trading in and buying stuff. So I took that stuff back Saturday morning and just handed it to them. I was like, we'll work out something later, because they were busy. I was like, put it back there, we'll work it out later, and we did. But I've got trading credit left. I was able to get Prime 4 ordered, and now all the games are gone, and I can get stuff and not have to worry about having anything come out of pocket, which is really cool. After that whole experience, carrying all that stuff around, I'm still not sure if it would have been better just to take all that stuff to the local shop and have been done with it, not have it to carry it up to South Carolina, not have to carry it around on my back. The thing is, it was fun. It was interesting working on the trades, trying to find people who were interested in trading. You know, a couple people that just bought something straight out. That was neat. That made some cool trades. But it's really a toss-up. I do not have a definitive answer of, oh yeah, I'd rather do this one, I'd rather do this one. Because it was time intensive. Because I probably spent a couple hours getting the spreadsheet together. I tried to make that spreadsheet as easy to use as possible, because it had the name of the game, it had what console it was for, if it was complete in box, if it was case and game, aka missing the manual, or if it was completely loose. And then I had the starting price as of Sunday night. And so it was easy for people to look at it and actually look through the list and see what they wanted, if anything. There were several people that looked at it, and I don't think they actually looked at it. They just saw a few things like, oh, this is all common stuff. Several people were like, oh yeah, the Pokemon games. But those were the first to go. Not surprising, those are very popular right now. But it was fun trading, but it was nice to have it done. So I don't know which way I'd go with that in the future if I was going to do it again, and I probably will, because I'm planning on going through my Genesis collection. I probably need to do my Wii U collection, maybe even the Wii collection. Xbox 360 will probably be one of the last ones that I do. And I might even do the Master System and break up some of those. Overall, it was a great experience doing the trading and everything. I'm not sure I'd do it again though, just because of it's, like I said, it's time intensive. Like a couple hours doing that, then carrying it around and having all that weight. Maybe the local retro shop does a really good job. They print out new covers and they have fancy cases for them. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope everyone's had a good July. And if you went to Seigi, what were some of your favorite pickups? I need to do a video on that later. But everyone, take care, have fun, be kind to one another, stay safe, keep retro, God bless, and we'll catch you all later. I got a bunny I gotta go grab. Bumpers. Where'd you?
See, it's the bunny. This is Bumpers. He likes to get in between things, and under things, and all over things.